They came with dreams in their suitcases and resilience in their hearts. The Windrush generation. Men and women who crossed oceans to build a new life, only to find a Britain that didn't always welcome them with open arms. Yet against the odds, they thrived. They became pioneers, leaders, and the backbone of communities across the nation. And among them was a man whose story embodies the spirit of perseverance, love, and unwavering determination. Meet Johnny Flowers, a businessman, a mechanic, a trailblazer, a pillar of Kirklees African Caribbean community. From the sun-soaked streets of Montego Bay to the bustling garages of Huddersfield, his journey is one of love, struggle, and triumph. A man who turned discrimination into opportunity, who built not just engines, but a legacy of leadership, serving as a school governor for 35 years, uplifting his community, and proving that belonging isn't given, it's earned. But this isn't just a story about the past. It's a living testament, a reminder of how faith, music, and unshakable courage knit a community together. And now, Johnny shares his truth, the heartache of leaving home, the fight for respect, and the joy of a love that spanned continents. This is his Windrush story.
Right, my name is Lindel Moralley Flowers, but I'm known in Huddersfield as Johnny Flowers. I am from Jamaica. I was born in Battletown, but I grew up in Montego Bay, where I went to trade. I went to school in Battletown, and from Battletown I then went to Montego Bay to do mechanics. I've always liked to do mechanics, so I went there. I trained and did my 3 years as an apprentice in Jamaica. And I had a girlfriend who was a teacher at the time, and she decided to come to England to work as a teacher. Not as a teacher, she came to do nursing. And I had other girlfriends, but I loved her so much. And when she was gone, I couldn't stay there anymore. I decided to come to England. I had a brother who came on the plane that she came on to England, and he was living in Huddersfield. But Alda, my girlfriend then, was living in Poole in Dorset. So I came to Huddersfield expecting or thinking that, oh, Dorset is near, I could just pop down at weekend and see her. When I come here, it was so different. It was so hard to get there. Actually, I never did get to Dorset. She used to come here. But my prime reason for coming is because I love this woman, and who I still have and still love. And that's the reason why I'm in England, number one. Not at first when I came, because I thought it was more progressive. I think because I'm from Montego Bay, I think all England was something like Montego Bay, with a town. I didn't realize it was such a country town. So I was really disappointed when I came, but I wasn't going to make that a problem to me. I had to live with what I have, and I did do. In Jamaica, the family is a big thing in Jamaica. I left my mother and sisters. I should maybe tell you that there were 10 of us in the family, 3 boys and 7 girls. And a few of them had died when I left. My brother, eldest brother, lives in the States, and the next brother lives in Huddersfield. So I left the sisters in Jamaica and came to the brother, to stay with the brother who was in England. And the reason why he was in Huddersfield was because when he decided to come, people normally go to somewhere where they know somebody when you're going to travel. And there was a guy here called Woolery who was in the RAF from Jamaica. And they used to correspond with people from our district. So my brother corresponded with him, knew he was here, and came here. And when I was coming, I thought I'd come to where my brother was. Easy is not the word. It's never been easy. Coming to England, it's never been easy. But I settled in, I knew that I had to manage, and I did the best I could with the environment I had and what I had to do. I just do that. I did my apprenticeship in Jamaica, but in Jamaica you don't get a certificate. You are paid by the amount of work that you do and how you did it. And I must tell you that when I left Jamaica, my last wage was £25. This was in the 60s. That was a lot of money. I didn't save a lot of it. I bought cars or driving around on weekends. And I thought I would live to that same standard when I came here. But when I came on a Friday. Saturday I landed in England, stayed in. I thought I was going to have 2 weeks holiday while I was here because I hadn't had a holiday in Jamaica then. And I didn't stay in bed, and when my brother came on the Monday, on the Tuesday, I was still in bed. And he says, "What are you doing in bed? You have to go to work." He had sent me some papers with places that I should advert, that I should go and look for jobs. And I didn't go. And he says, "Dear, in England, you don't do that. You've got to work. You can't come in and just say you're going to have a holiday. You've got to do some work. So I don't want to come back tomorrow and you're not going out to do it." So on Wednesday, Thursday, I went out looking for jobs. Not very easy. When I go to the garages and say I was a mechanic and they says, "Where's your credentials?" I had none. I says, "We don't get certificates in Jamaica. You have to work, and the way you work, you get paid for it." Eventually, I went to what was Braccols and Appleyards, all the big garage who would employ me. But I went to Outlane to a company called G's Brothers, and they employed me as an improver. They said they wouldn't employ me as a fully skilled mechanic. But in less than a month, I was doing most of the work in the garage. And I loved it. I thought they treated me good. I didn't realize they treated me good, but they didn't pay me. No, but I did go to college. That was one of my intentions when I came to England, that I would go to the tech. There were prejudices, but I didn't anticipate that there were prejudices. I didn't realize they were. The prejudices were they didn't pay me enough. But they were friendly and they treated me good, and I appreciated that. I left that job and got another job that paid much better. And I think I was more appreciated there. That's a long time, because I came in 1961 and I worked at G's Brothers for about 6 months, and then I went to Hanson's Buses. I stayed at Hanson's Buses from 62, it would be 62 when I went to Hanson's Buses, and I got transferred. The corporation bought out Hanson's Buses, and I then went with Hanson's, with the company, which becomes Yorkshire Rider. I then worked with them, and I worked with Yorkshire Rider from 71 until 75, 76, when I bought my own business. I wasn't a big church goer. I appreciate the church, and I realize that's one of the things that knit the people together, unite the people together. Not everybody goes to church, but it was very good for the community. They could meet at the church. There was nowhere else for them to meet. It did. The men, women didn't go to the music places. They did go to parties, but they didn't go to music as much. The men did, and the men find it really empowering to go to the reggae and the dance. For myself, I wasn't one of the ones that goes. I was always interested in work. Spent most of my time working. It affected them a lot, badly actually, because most of the elder people that were here thought they were British, and they were ordinate that they weren't going to get a British certificate, passport because they were British. As for myself, it wasn't like that. I thought I had to get one, so I had my British passport in 1968. Well, we went to France on a trip to France, and they treated us really, really bad. They locked us all, the black people, or the Jamaicans, in a little office. All the English people went through, and they were seen through very quickly. For me, and the rest of the Jamaicans who were on the trip, we were in the office for ages. And I thought it was only because we were not British, right? They kept us like that. So I decided to get a British passport, and I did so as soon as I came back. I had the opinion that you had the right to buy if you had the money. And I did buy the things that I needed. During that time, I had my own house, and I started a business. But I think it was rather strange. I'm really a socialist, and I think everybody needs to get what they want, not to struggle to get it, not to be held down by any constraint that they can't have it. But even then, I think people who wants to buy could do. My wife, who was a sister at the infirmary, and she works at night. And one morning, when she came home, she said that the garage, the coal yard is up for sale. I think you should buy it. So I came around, looked at it, asked the vicarman about it, and he said, yes, I could buy it, but there was somebody who wanted it, and I would have to wait to see what happens. If they wait, because they wanted it, but they were waiting on some things, and he needed to move out in a hurry. I waited about a month, and it wasn't sold, and they actually came to tell me that, did I still want the garage? And I said yes, and I went down to the bank, told the bank manager what had happened. He came to look at it with me and says, yes, it is a good place for you to have a garage. We will help you with whatever you need. And that's where I actually started from, this Ashborough garage. At the beginning of Ashborough, we didn't call it Ashborough garage. It was called Johnny's garage. But because it was on Ashborough Road, and I thought it's better to have a public name than a personal name, because people would be asking, who is this Johnny? But Ashborough garage would make it sound as if it was a garage. And that's how it becomes Ashborough garage and Ashborough Road. And this is known all over England now. I was supported by Septimus Moody, Clifford Harriott, Rennie Brown, Sonny Lawrence, and many, many more. And that's how we used to cook up there. And they played dominoes. And it was really, really a good place to be, especially in summer. And on a Sunday, it was like a massive garage. There would be about 10, 15 cars parked up. Not worked on, they just come to talk. And they enjoy digging the pit. And that's where I started from. This was more than a garage. It was a meeting point for the West Indians. And not only men, women used to come as well. The wives used to come to look for them at the garage and play heck on them because they were away all day and they didn't know where they were. But most time they know they were at Johnny's at the garage, Johnny's garage. And we have a smashing time, you know. And there weren't a lot of prejudice on there because there were lots of English people, English lad who came to the garage as well. So at that stage, I wouldn't think, there were sort of prejudices, but it wasn't obvious, you know, because lots of other people. The fellow who I got the garage from, Arnold Sykes, was a lovely man. He's the one I could say who sets me up in the garage, Arnold Sykes, and he used to live at Rockin' Hall side. I think all my kids feel confident at school. And I think the kids feel confident because of what the parents do to them or the parents teach them. They've never ever complained of prejudices. I don't think they realize what prejudice was. And we had lots of English friends. They come to our house, the kids go to their house. And they were fairly bright at school. And when you're bright at school, people makes you friends. You become friends with all people. So my kids didn't really have a bad time, but I know a lot of other kids who have. I am disappointed about the Caribbean community. They see themselves as individuals from different islands. And in that respect, they have not built enough support for each other. Because the islanders, they all see themselves as from different islands. They live together. They have not had any fallouts because of it, but they don't dwell together as they should have done. They see themselves as islanders, the Caribbean community. Yes, and I think that's one of the main thing I can say that makes the Caribbean people in Huddersfield as one. You know, I come from a country where we refer to people as out of many, one people. And I see the Caribbean people in Huddersfield as one people. Unfortunately, they don't see themselves as that. They see themselves as individuals. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. There were always opportunities here. Is that some people didn't grasp it. Some Caribbean people didn't grasp the opportunity. The younger, the third generation, I think, is doing much better than the first generation. And I refer to the first generation as the people who brought their kids over and the firstborn in England, who has not, from my thinking, do enough or has got enough. They experience a lot of prejudices. One and all got to face reality now. The Caribbean, because one of the big things as well is that Caribbean people don't see themselves as Caribbean, they see themselves as the English. All the things they do were English things. They haven't changed in terms of what maybe the Asians community did. They see themselves as English, just the color that is different. And so that's where they went wrong, and that's where we all went wrong. You know, because we see ourselves as black people when we're all just people from the Caribbean. Yes, I do. I speak to people in Jamaica daily, or at least 3-4 times a week. My relatives and friends and people in, I say, high places. And number one, I think educational-wise, the younger people are much more educated than the older ones who were here. And that has made a lot of change because they've got different ideas and different views. It's very hard because now what with Brexit and the things, it's so hard to start a business. I think the main thing you really have to have a good education to really get anywhere here. All the younger people must, and all the ones, must improve their education. Education is the thing that changes us, that makes us accepted. And I think that's the main thing that we need, and we need to forcefully employ that in the kids and in the parents to get their kids educated. I think the Caribbean people needs trust. One of the things that they don't do, they don't trust each other, and that's been one of the biggest things that caused them. That's one of the reasons why there's no house or property that is in the Caribbean name. If you notice, all the things are individual, but they don't have anything collective because they don't trust each other. What happens to the workers, the slaves? And I'm talking about a long time. Slavery has abolished in 1836 in Jamaica and in the Caribbean, but the people still have that mentality. They were told that they were slave who works in the kitchen, who works in the house. They were higher than the slaves who work in the plantations. So now, if I notice it, that's in a black environment, if the black person achieve anything, the other fellow don't enjoy it. They don't like it. Not that they don't like it, but they've got that ideology that they shouldn't have had it. Not against it, but they think they shouldn't be because they immediately think that they changed, they're not the same person, which is not true. No, it's more than trust. First, you have to trust the person to beyond their wavelength. Next, you have to work with them. So you have to work together. And before you start working together, you work together, understand each other's values. Well, I think the Caribbean people, especially the Jamaicans, they didn't invest in the community, they invest in themselves. And they make good for themselves. But you need to invest in the community in order to make a better standard of living for everybody. And I think most of the Caribbean people, especially the Jamaicans, they save and didn't invest, and they go back to the West Indies and make some great big houses, which they don't really enjoy, they don't live in it. They just stayed in one room, and then most of them don't even go back on holidays. So I think we lost that values of not investing. If there's anything that I feel proud about, it's a legacy that I've left. Robert has done exceedingly well. It is now truly a family business, and he's renowned. It's not anymore just Johnny's Garage. It's Mr. Flowers and Robert Garage. Most people now refer to the garage as Robert. They don't even see me as a part of it. But then that's what I wanted. That's what I thought was legacy. And I do hope other parents would follow my example and realize is that having a business is not just for yourself, it's for the people behind you. Because had I sold this business, it's really good business, it would be out of the family and they wouldn't have a job in it. So I am really sincerely proud of it. I reflect on the things that's happened over the years and what has brought me here. The people who has been a profound help to me and the business. People like Septimus Moody, Clifford Harriet, Bouncer, Alton. Those people are unanimous. They are really, really a joy to be with. They have been a great help. But the person who is most important to me, the person who is the driving force behind me and Ashborough Garage is my wife, Alda. She has been the savior, the redeemer. She's been the person who has really puts the icing on the cake. She helps me, she did the books, she interviewed the workers, she did so many things for the garage. Without her, I don't think there could have been Ashborough Garage. So I just want to say thank you so much, Alda. And we've been here for over 60 years together, and I hope we will have a few more years.